This week has been very warm, but we are warming up even more. Some of us getting close to that 90-degree mark tomorrow. A few showers in the forecast now into Saturday, but for the most part, we will be dry until Sunday. All those details coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 7, the search for a suspect is underway in Aiken County. The charges he is facing in the death of Jamila Smith. Also ahead, National Semicolon Day was celebrated yesterday. We'll have more on what the symbol represents. And a setback for a proposed chicken plant in Aiken, why one county councilman is concerned about the plan. As your news at 7 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 7.
Good evening. You're watching News Channel 6 at 7. I'm Bria Smith. Thanks for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with a new development tonight in the case of a missing 30-year-old mother in Aiken County. A second suspect is now wanted. Nikita Dennis is live outside the Aiken County Sheriff's Office with the details. Nikita?
And 35-year-old Brian Alexander Hampton Jr. is wanted in connection to the murder investigation of Jamila Smith. Smith went missing last December and has been missing since. Investigators say her ex-boyfriend, Daniel Herman, is currently behind bars facing murder charges. I spoke to Captain Eric Abdullah with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, and he tells me Herman and Hampton are cousins. Captain Abdullah says they've been looking at several leads in this investigation, and they still have a long way to go and are asking the community for help.
Well, it's important that we continue to have community support, especially in a case like this. There's somebody out there that has a piece of information, regardless of how small they think it is, share it. It's, you can even share it anonymously. But any information to help bring this young lady home to her family will be outstanding to this investigation.
He also says they've been looking into where Smith's body might be, but so far there are no leads yet. We also talked to Smith's mother. We'll hear from her coming up tonight at 10 and 11. Live in Aiken County, Nikita Dennis, WJBF, News Channel 6.
It's time now for our first look at our weather. Here's meteorologist Jenna Petracci. Jenna, it seems like spring is in full effect.
Yeah, it's definitely not changing anytime soon. It's been warm all week long, and once again, we made it into the 80s today. That was our high. We made it to 83 degrees. On average, we're at 79. So our average highs are starting to catch up a little bit to our actual highs as we get later into the month of April. It's becoming more typical that we have some 80-degree days. Low this morning was 55. No rain today, but we did have the clouds move in. Here's our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over the river. Pretty cloudy view with temperatures now in the upper 70s to low 80s. 78 in Augusta, 78 in Thompson, Louisville 81, 77 in Aiken, Gibson at 80 degrees, 79 in Edgefield, and 81 in Waynesboro. Winds are coming in from the south. That's bringing in the warmer temperatures. 5 miles per hour in Aiken, 7 in Edgefield, just 3 in Augusta, and 8 in Waynesboro. It was pretty breezy earlier today. Those wind gusts up to around 20 miles per hour. Satellite radar showing the clouds around the CSRA with some showers knocking on our door. We have this area of rain from the upstate down into central Alabama and Mississippi. Most of this activity will stay to our north, but as we go into the overnight hours, it's possible we'll get a little bit of rain. But the good news for the game tonight is that it will be dry, just mostly cloudy to start. At 8 p.m., 77 degrees, southwest wind, 6 miles per hour. At 9 o'clock tonight, we'll be down into those low 70s with partly cloudy skies. It'll be partly cloudy tomorrow morning when you're headed out the door, possibly those showers around the 5 o'clock hour. Other than that, it will be dry and the sun will come out around 7 a.m. with temperatures dipping down into the low 60s. Now, coming up, we will have some rain in the forecast along with a cool down eventually, and I'll have all the details on that shortly, but back to you, Bria.
Thanks, Jenna. A poultry processing company looking for an Aiken County location suffers a setback. The North Carolina Poultry Company planned to invest $185 million in Aiken County, creating 900 jobs at $18 an hour plus benefits. The county council didn't approve a plan to set a fee instead of having taxes paid. Aiken County Council Chairman Gary Bunker expressed concern about the plan's wastewater treatment needs, citing insufficient infrastructure to support the proposed capacity.
This plant would use approximately 1.7 million gallons per day of capacity at the Horse Creek wastewater treatment plant. And neither the city of Aiken nor Aiken County have that extra capacity to offer them at this point in time.
There are no immediate plans for the project. Leaders are focused on bringing in high-profit, high-tech investments. This week, we observed World Semicolon Day was Tuesday, a day set aside for survivors of suicide and their challenges with mental health. But one local psychiatrist says it's important to focus on mental health 365 days a year. A semicolon is used to indicate the continuation of a sentence where you could have ended it, but for some, that symbol has another meaning, representing a point where someone could have ended their life but decided to continue living.
It doesn't affect just one demographic. It affects everyone. And so, 1 in 5 Americans are affected by mental illness.
Dr. Jocelyn Kelly Bayless is a child psychiatrist in Augusta, but sees patients from all walks of life. She says connection is a vital part to a healthy mindset.
We see things from ADHD, little Timmy acting out in school. We see anxiety. We see depression. And for our kiddos, it's hard for them to talk about it. They will act out, and it will show up in their behaviors more so than them discussing things.
That's why Dr. Bayless stresses the importance of social connection and relationship as a way to proactively approach a dark place some can sometimes find themselves in.
It's okay to check in with someone and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? I noticed that you've been a little, it's okay to check in. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It was started back in 1949, and so there are going to be some things rolling out for us to celebrate mental health awareness.
But Dr. Bayless assures there are ways you can keep yourself grounded throughout your daily routine.
I teach my patients about taking micro pauses during the daytime. And so that pause, that reminder of why I'm still here. We call those protective factors. And be thinking about, wow, why am I still here? What is the reason that I am here? My loved one, my puppy. I had a lady that told me the reason that she lives is because of her cats. And that's okay.
Whether it's a pause or a semicolon that reminds you there's a reason for being here, healthcare providers urge you to understand your reason why. You can also visit Mental Health America for various screenings. More than 500,000 Georgians are out of Medicaid coverage due to a lack of paperwork. Research shows around half of those ended up re-enrolling in Medicaid, picking up coverage through the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, or through an employer. State lawmakers did not expand Medicaid this year, but instead pushed for Georgians' Pathways program, an alternative which would provide health care coverage to low-income adults.
It could expand Medicaid, which would expand the pool of patients that could go to those facilities and would have some ability to pay all across the state. Georgia has not accepted the Medicaid expansion, which would allow more uninsured to have that basic level of coverage, which again was propping up a lot of these smaller community hospitals.
If you've been denied coverage, the state says you can file an appeal hearing. You can find out more online at statecovered.ga. or call 1-877-423-4746. The debate continues on whether Augusta's first of the Golden Blocks Legends comic books is now out for the public to read. The authors are using those comics to teach people about Augusta's rich history, and those who worked on it held a panel to talk about their first comic. Isabella Moody was there.
The artists and consultants for the Golden Blocks Legend comics spoke at the panel about their first comic, Lucy Craft-Laney, Mother of the Children of the People. They believe putting her story in comic form is a good way for students and others to learn.
We learn better when we are, engaged in content and when it matters to us. And so using someone like Lucy Craft-Laney, who's so important here in Augusta and so well known, is really just makes it a great instructional resource. And working together and developing something that we feel is really just so rich and valuable to the community.
Corey Rogers from the Lucy Craft-Laney Museum, Kim Barker, and Art Abden are just a few that helped work on the comic. They wanted to make sure they got the story and the art in the book as close as possible to the real situations.
First, I've seen like older pictures after educating and being principal for so many years before her death. So I think there's a couple of photos of her at a younger age, and so I kind of like took that and made sure that we saw all aspects when she was a child.
Many schools in the area are using the comic to teach in the classroom, but it's getting attention across the country.
She went all the way to Minnesota. She presented to the Presbyterian general meeting there, and she left, unfortunately, without receiving any money. But when she got back to Augusta, a woman named Francine Haynes contacted her. She had seen her in Minnesota, and she gave her the money to build the buildings and start Haynes Institute. That's why they named their school the Lucy Craft Laney School, and that's why they were interested in the comic as well.
In Augusta, Isabel Moody, WJBF, News Channel 6.
The latest on the 2024 campaign when your news at 7 continues.
Hey there, Georgia. I'm John.
A split screen on the campaign trail with President Biden campaigning in Pennsylvania, speaking with steel workers as President Trump deals with his historic criminal trial in New York City. Reed Roy has the latest.
A tale of two campaigns. Former President Donald Trump facing a pool of potential jurors who will vote on his guilt or innocence. Joe Biden greeting the Morning Joe crowd at a coffee shop in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania. The president also trying to solidify support from organized labor in the pivotal swing state. He's already won the endorsement of the United Steelworkers Union, and he's opposing the sale of the U.S. Steel Company to a Japanese firm and calling for higher tariffs on Chinese metal imports.
Pollen levels are high this week, and so are the temperatures. But notice on Sunday, those pollen levels go down. That'll be because some rain is moving in. I'll have those details right after the break.
Of course, Brand. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5/6.
Welcome back. Here's a view of the Green Jackets game on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam. Lucky for them, they don't have any rain to worry about. It is a pretty cloudy day, but the temperatures are comfortable. Of course, today it was warm once again, and now that the sun is getting ready to set, the temperatures are cooling down, sitting at 78 degrees, wind coming in at 3 miles per hour from the southwest, dew points in the low 60s. Around the CSRA, some of us still at the 80-degree mark, such as Lincolnton, Sandersville, Wrightsville, and Waynesboro. Aiken, you're at 77, 76 up in McCormick, 79 in Washington, and 77 over in Barnwell. Pretty much cloud cover for everyone in the CSRA. We are dry, though, as I mentioned, with some showers moving into our northwestern counties. Most of this rain is light, though, and it will fall apart for the most part, and a lot of it's staying to our north as well. So for now, I'm not expecting any rain in the forecast tonight, but it's possible we could have a few showers overnight tonight. But for the most part tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. We'll see some clouds early in the morning, and then those skies will clear, starting out at 64, warming up to 89. That's our forecasted high tomorrow. We are going to be close to that record of 91 set back in the 1800s, but I definitely don't think we'll reach it, and we definitely won't break it. But we are definitely getting closer and closer to that 90-degree mark. Same thing on Friday. Saturday, 87, and then look at this on Sunday, down to 70 degrees, believe it or not, 67 for your Monday morning, and then we'll warm up again next week. Rain chances are coming up as we go into the weekend, for 30% for Friday and Saturday, 70% for Sunday, and that rain will come with the cool down as well. So kind of unsettled this weekend. Saturday's definitely the better day for any outdoor plans. Definitely not a washout, but we could have a few storms that pop up. On Sunday, not expecting thunderstorms. Instead, it will be a cloudy day with widespread rain, and then, of course, the cooler temperatures. So let's get right into our futurecast. As I mentioned, we should stay dry for now, but as we go into around midnight, possibly a few showers moving in. This continues until around 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you can see those clouds push down towards the south. We'll see the sunshine by around 8 a.m., and then the rest of your Thursday looks beautiful. Let's jump ahead to Friday. We're going to have this approaching cold cold front, which will bring us another possibility of a few showers and storms on Friday. Cold front will linger in the area on Saturday, keeping Saturday pretty similar. And then as we go into Sunday, we're going to see a more widespread rain setup come in starting Sunday morning, possibly a few showers. And then as this low pressure moves in our direction, a better chance of more widespread rain and some heavier downpours into Sunday evening, even a few showers into next Monday. Our lows tonight will be in the low 60s with a few showers around. Highs tomorrow will be in the upper 80s, possibly some of us reaching the 90-degree mark. It'll be a close call. Our 10-day forecast showing the sunshine tomorrow, a few storms around Friday and Saturday, cloudy, rainy, and cooler on Sunday, and then only upper 60s next Monday and upper 40s going into your Tuesday and next week with lots of sunshine next week as well. Back to you, Bria.
Still ahead, a Boeing whistleblower testifies on Capitol Hill. The latest on the investigation into the airline company. When your coverage you can count on continues.
Olympus Granite, weeknights at 8, 7 Central, only on News Nation. News for all America.
The WJBF Live Viper 6 Skyview Network is sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service.
A Boeing whistleblower testified on Capitol Hill today with serious allegations about the safety of certain Boeing models. He claims part of the plane wasn't put together properly and could fall apart years later. Here's Christiane Cordero with the details.
Today, a Boeing engineer spoke out on Capitol Hill about his employer.
I'm not here today because I want to be here. I'm here today because I felt that I must come forward.
Sam Salapore claims the Boeing 787 Dreamliner could fail over time because he believes it was put together improperly. He accuses Boeing of taking manufacturing shortcuts by ignoring gaps in the fuselage to save time and money.
In a rush to address its bottlenecks in production, Boeing hit problems, pushing pieces together with excessive force to make them appear that the gaps don't exist, even though they exist.
So far, Salapore has not provided any documentation to support this claim. Boeing calls the claims inaccurate and says it is fully confident in the safety and durability of the 787. Boeing strongly disputes the allegations, and this week the company invited cameras inside of its South Carolina facility, where senior engineers explained how Boeing tested the fuselage, simulating 165,000 flights with no issues.
It's actually the longest fatigue test of any commercial airplane that's ever been run.
The FAA reviewed and approved Boeing's production quality after the issue was first raised years ago. It's conducting another investigation into Salapore's claims industry experts say warrant many questions.
We got to pay attention to our whistleblowers, but when you hear somebody conflating things a little bit, I began to be concerned about their overall message.
Salapore accuses Boeing of retaliating against him after speaking out. Boeing says it encourages employees to speak up about any issues. It also says reports to an internal tip line for quality control are up 500% this year. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Folks, you know what? Go for just...
Jimmy John's is trying to get into the stoner spirit for 420, also known as the marijuana holiday. They're offering what they call a deliciously dope dime bag. It's $10 and comes with a lot of food. The restaurant chain says each component was meticulously selected to deliver a burst of flavor that Jimmy John's fans are on the hunt for on this high holiday.
Huh, what's in there?
Right, as long as there's pickles, but I'm definitely a Firehouse kind of girl, so...
Yeah, I don't go to Jimmy John's.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, Firehouse is so good.
Firehouse is really
Jersey
good.
Mike's.
Yes, they're really good. Publix.
Oh, yeah, Publix.
Publix.
Yeah, sorry to hate on Jimmy John's. I mean, it's all good. They're all sandwiches. but
Exactly.
There's some better choices out there, I
For
would say.
sure.
Our 10-day forecast showing the warm temperatures tomorrow. We'll start out cloudy, but the skies will clear early in the morning, high of 89. Some of us close to 90. A few storms are on Friday and Saturday, but for the most part, dry until Sunday.
Awesome, Jenna. We'll see you again at 10 on MeTV. We're always with you at WJBF.com.